beautiful people, welcome back. We are in Wisconsin today. We've been here for about, would you say 8 hours, Beb?
Yeah.
I had a really bad airport experience. I wasn't feeling well at all. Get like motion sickness and moving vehicles. I guess a plane is a vehicle too, right?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether that's a car, a boat, a plane, and I had a really bad day with that today. Amidst all of the paranoia surrounding COVID, obviously it's not good to act anything resembling sick. I'd rather deal with it internally. But yeah, I had a pretty shitty flight here. But everything's good now. I'm obviously doing a lot better. I didn't even take video there because a lot of the tenants' stuff was still in the house. Because whoever lives right now is in the process of moving out, and there's still a lot of their stuff there. And some of it was like labeled with her name and everything, and I didn't want to out her privacy like that, etc. Because of all her stuff, I can't really picture the place empty and like us living there. So the place itself wasn't a problem, it's just the condition is in. Tomorrow we have a lot more properties that we actually have to see. We have a bunch of appointments back to back for showings, so hopefully we have better luck tomorrow.
This house we really did like. When we first walked in, we very much loved the way it looked. It was very pretty in a super nice neighborhood. It was really pretty. It had some really interesting carpeting.
The detailing on this house was actually on point.
Yeah, a fireplace in the living room, a really nice sunroom right that attached to a deck. It had an awesome master suite, tons of space. There was an entire unfinished basement that's not counted in the square footage of the house, but is huge, like at least 1,000 square feet down there. And it's nice, it's clean, it's obviously unfinished, so you're not meant to like live down there, but plenty of storage space. You could put a whole workshop down there and more. The drawback to this house, the main drawback, was actually the person we would be renting from, the owner of the house.
The landlord, she was very difficult and like uncomfortable as a person. It was just the most uncomfortable house showing interaction we had with the landlord, period.
Let's just say it was weird. I could go into detail, but there's no point. It was weird, and it made it. She talked us out of a property I think we were otherwise really excited about.
Yeah. House number 3. And this one's painful for me because I actually loved this house's neighborhood. They had a community garden right next to it. There was like a park right across the street where Mackie could run all the time. But we weren't in love with the house.
The house didn't meet most of our base requirements. Like it was by no means a terrible house, and it wasn't really ugly. It just felt like the layout didn't really suit most of our needs. The kitchen was pretty small. A lot of the stuff, while it wasn't, it wasn't old and run down, it also wasn't particularly new. It was somewhere in the middle. It was really tough because right across the street there's this gorgeous park, and every winter they create an ice skating rink in the park. And
Great place to live in, just not the house.
it was a master bedroom, but the master bedroom had a tiny bathroom to the point that if both of us were getting ready in the morning at the same time, which happens all the time, we wouldn't be able to. The neighborhood requirements for us, but it missed pretty much all of the other ones, and it really was unfortunate because the neighborhood was above and beyond the best one by far. The house Number 4. This
Oh,
one,
house number 4.
this one was funny because we went into it knowing what it was, but not knowing the extent. It's a very nice house. It meets every qualification of a house that you could ask for. You know, tons of space, gorgeous master suite, gorgeous kitchen. Nice, it's pretty, nice layout. It had a 3-acre lot with tons of grass, invisible fence already in the yard, so we could like put our dog in the yard and he'd be happy, have all that space to run around. It had beautiful views of the sunset on the back deck, and everything sounded perfect until you got there and realized it was in the middle of nowhere. And it was, yes, the house had a 3-acre lot, but it was part of a 50 plus acre property, which was out in the middle of farmland, and your neighbors were the owners and one other guy, and then there are no other neighbors. Like for a 5-mile radius, there are no other neighbors. And you drive by, and eventually you find a farm, and then another farm, and another farm.
The drive to the mailbox was probably a mile plus. It was.
I don't know if it's a full mile, but it's far. Your mailbox is not like, you probably would get your mail on your way to and from work because it wouldn't make sense to walk it.
Felt overwhelming. It's like we were there, we're staring at all this space. This would be a great spot for like a vacation, a weekend getaway maybe, but I wouldn't want to live here. Like it was way too secluded. I felt like I was in a movie. You know those movies that like if someone wins like an inn in France or something, and then they get there and the place is destroyed. Obviously, it's not the case with the condition of the
Sure.
house, but they're normally in the middle of nowhere in movies. That's how in the middle of nowhere this house was.
Yeah.
House number 5. This one we were really excited about, especially Brockton. We really like this house ever since we saw the pictures online before we even made it to Madison. It's very spacious. It was very, like, it had a great master suite, great bathrooms, lots and lots of space. And I would say the only downside to this one was that the yard wasn't fully fenced in, and we wanted to make sure that Maki was going to be safe, etc. One of the downsides to it was that the house had really dark colors, and we were trying to go for a brighter look. There were walls that were orange, red, and that's not what we wanted for a home. So we wanted white, ivories, etc., just to like brighten up the place. And that was one of the compromises we were willing to make.
So one of the things that was interesting about this house is that from the outside, it's not very pretty. But from the inside, it's actually really pretty. It has this gorgeous kitchen, gorgeous secluded backyard. Everything about it was like really, really nice. And it has a really nice layout. So obviously one of the drawbacks is, since, as she said, that yard isn't fenced in, so that's a downside. But it had a lot of upsides. The ugliness on the outside is another downside.
There's clumps of snow on the left side. It looks like it snowed.
That's so pretty.
Well, that's not appealing at all.
And that's gonna be it for this video. We are back home with this cute little munchkin. I love you guys so much. I want to say thank you for watching. Stay safe. Have a wonderful week. I love you all. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of our house moving shenanigans. If you're curious as to which house we picked, Just stay tuned for our house tour once we move. I love you guys so much. Stay safe. Bye bye.